welcome, welcome. Hope we're all doing good. Yeah, there is a new silhouette that they've teased. Noct sent me a message. I noticed people talking about it in the Spud Discord. I'm not sure. Wow, why are my frames so low? My frames in-game are really low when I'm on this screen for you guys. I guess it's because there's 3 video files being played and OBS really doesn't know what to do. So anyway, I made a video about strike missions I really want to see today, and I've got to get footage of, like, a ton of stuff. And I can either just sit there playing it, or I can just stream as I do so. Which is what I'm going to do here. So yeah, woohoo, an NA timed stream. This is actually more of an EU timed stream, I'd say. This is people at EU are just about to get off work. I'm basically just going to play some content, which is going to appear in the video, and that way I actually have footage of it, right? So yeah, hopefully that's okay. And you guys like the idea of that? Wait, WP analyzed the new teaser spec with the lighting changed. What do you mean with the lighting changed? The Necro, did they redo the Necro, but with new lighting? Apparently there was a thing with IGN revealed that they're doing Thursday streams or something, and no one else knows. Or the studio didn't talk about it themselves. I'm on their Twitter at the moment. I only see one thing. I see the one new spec, which has been teased. I can put it on screen for you guys if you want. Actually, what would be the point in that? You're going to see a video on it anyway, and everyone sort of knows what it is. It's my favorite VTuber, WP. Yeah, what do you think, guys? I did some more green screening today because I also was working on the graphics, that graphics video update. So I was messing with settings again, and I just had to be 100% sure that I knew which setting it was that was breaking green screen and like depth buffer stuff. So since I was logging back in on that, I figured why not shoot a new one? I did this one, and then I also did so that's her on the Lotus, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty zen. The Lotus, that chair actually looks way better than I can sort of display, because that chair actually has like a nice like lily pond thing going on. I also did this guy, but the loop is really bad on it. Tengu's really hard to do, so I'm not going to use him. Tengu's really hard because you got to find one in a good place. And, like, you don't get any of the details. Like, you can't see his tail there, really. You can't even see the fact he's holding a bow in his left hand. It's sort of our right. But, yeah, his arm also clips off to the side of the webcam, sort of the dimensions of the footage a bit, which I don't like. I think it's okay in terms of color and lighting there. And also, it's kind of hard to get them to move their mouth if you want to do that. But that's a very, very short loop, and it's not that good, so I wasn't too impressed with that. I also tried... Who else did I capture today? I think this was just the other one. Yeah. But she's a little bit small, to be honest. I don't know. Let me transform, reset transform. There. That's the size that she came in at. And you miss out a lot as well. Green screen kind of ruins. Here, I'll show you guys. She has, her back piece has a bunch of like really lovely like glowy yellow effects breezing through the wind, but you don't see it on the green screen because it kind of the way that the depth is calculated or something, I guess it kind of gets screwed up. But yeah, we can play her if we want. Chocolapic's so good because like this is his concept really, and he had a thing where it was like if you character swap, it would actually show, it would reflect the character automatically on OBS to reflect the fact that you've character swapped, which is just so goddamn cool. Anyway, yeah, you guys can tell me if the audio or whatever's bad. I think it should be fine. I don't really have a build that I'm finding very fun on her at the moment. I mean, the bow is nice to use, but I kind of feel like what we were running before is as close as you can get. See, I'm a big believer in PvE Warhorn, to be honest with you. What stat set was I going with everything else? I did Marauders. Interesting. I'm wasting time here, by the way. I really shouldn't. I don't know what this was. Let's just put on Courage for a second. Oh, sorry. It's called Strength in PvE. Always make that mistake. Yeah. So we'll play our Soul Beast. I'll do the Black Moa variant as well. The Guild Wars money kind of variant. So yeah, all right. Let's see. So I'm gonna go onto Wiki here, and any world boss that I care about, if it's up, I'll do it now. If it's not up, so you see all these fireflies. You see these? These are what I want next to her on screen. Why is Wiki not loading very well? What on earth? I keep getting this experience where sometimes Wiki just does not want to refresh. All right, there we go. Okay, so right now, okay, Forge with Fire is coming up in 4 minutes. So let's do Forge with Fire. Forge with Fire is literally one of the most important things that I wanted on screen for this. Oh, she won't have been there. All right, we're not going to play Ranger. Let's play something tanky as well, so... I'm not scared to die in footage, but I don't want to, I don't want me struggling at gameplay to become, to detract from whatever point is being made in the commentary at the time. Offhand Sword Guardian. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I think that's like a dual-wielding sword thief. I mean, that's how it looks to me. Noct was saying it didn't look like medium armor, but that might just be him trying to, you know, kid himself. And I don't know. I don't know whether he's kidding himself or anything. To me, I just immediately think that's you know, that's some kind of ninja kind of character. You want to poll it? Yeah, okay, I'll do a poll. Okay, so what do you guys think? Thief, Guardian, or what? What's the other big idea that you guys have? Anyone want to submit another profession that you think that the new teaser might be? It's not on screen on stream right now. You'll have to go to the Guild Wars 2 Twitter if you want. You think it might be Rev or even Ellie? Guys, it's dual-wielding swords, okay? It can't be Ellie. Well, it could be Ellie. Ah. I'll put Ellie on there, but I think... I mean, the whole rule-breaking thing... Alright, there you go. They might do it. There you go. The poll's up. You guys can vote. Let's get ourselves in position here. I don't know what I want to do because this Celestial build is just so tanky. I tried subbing out half for Zerk and then tried subbing out half for Diviners earlier. And it just didn't click, really. So I just don't know. I don't know what I want to do. What am I doing? I'm at the wrong waypoint. We're going to the foundry. Where am I going? Oh, you son of a bitch. As soon as I want to swap mounts, turns out we're in a fight. God, it's hot today as well. I'm going to get as much footage as I can on this and then peace out because it is boiling. I'd rather be out and about right now. Now I wonder if my PC is going to poo itself if I try to record with shadow play as well at the same time. Don't really want to go through the Forge embattlement. Do you guys think they'll do a lot more of that stuff in POF? Hold on, what is wrong with me? Why am I struggling so... No, we're fine. We're fine. There we go. Where does the event start as well is the question. It starts like outside, right? Forge have a strong presence within the foundry. The earliest I've ever got to it is here, so I'm not actually sure where it starts. Alright, here we go. Defeat the priest of Balthazar. Yeah, it starts right here. Okay, if you guys want to do this with me as well, I'll tag up. At least so that people know in game as well. This is what I'm doing. POF. Domain of Abbey. Forged with fire. I'm still on NA, by the way. This is not EU. I'm on NA. Random question. I know you're not a fan of using the 80 boost. Could an exception be made if you're not interested in base class and no one playing elite spec? I feel that way about Thief and Deadeye.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Well, hold on. I'm only not a fan for total new players. You know, if you've already played the game a shit ton, then fine, use your level 80 boost. But no, what you just said, if that's a new player, if you've never played Thief, I do not recommend using a level 80 boost because you want to be a daredevil or whatever. Your understanding of the class will be so much higher if you take it at a proper pace and you like actually learn what your traits are and like mess with your utility skills and have a real sense of what the base class is before then you fuck with it majorly by putting elite specialization on there. I mean, you can obviously eventually learn and know everything, but I think it makes a very shitty caliber of player, honestly. And I myself, I find I'm way less connected to the characters I play that I boost. So I just, from multiple angles, even for a veteran, I kind of am a bit iffy, but I mean, it's your choice if you're a veteran. You know, even if I think you only like Daredevil, 2 of your lines are coming from the core class. Multiple of your utility skills are going to be. Possibly 3 of your 4 weapons are going to be from the core class. You know, the core class is like it's very weird to me that you're going to only buy into the idea of the elite spec and not the core class. Like, they are very bound together. What's probably the most significant example of that, I wonder? Probably Ranger and Druid, probably. Probably it's very easy to buy into the idea of being a druid and wanting to be a heal support, but want nothing to do with pets and want nothing to do with any of the other aesthetic or gameplay ideas. Anyway, it's the priest. I don't actually need to follow the these guys anymore. So I'm going to make an argument that the boss fight section of this can be a strike mission. Christ, my frames are so low. I really should set up this thing where I stream from a second PC. As long as it looks smooth on your end. To everyone else. Fuck it, I'm not going to record locally. I'll just download the stream later. That worked well. I did it with raiding footage earlier in the week, and it worked.
I failed in my duty.
So these guys, we have to break their break bar to open up burn pressure. Oh, I'm not the only commander here. Okay. Christ, there's so much going on the right of my screen. Let's quit this. Clean up a little bit. Why are my frames so low here? Is it just because I'm streaming? Christ almighty. Well, we're not going to get a good look at this with this many players. Oh, I got super speed. I can probably make that jump then. Gave myself super speed. Oh, there's an invisible wall there. Really? Right, it's fine. I'll come down to the middle. This is what we want to be looking at anyway. Let's just kill the culling. I would much rather it looks smooth than anything else. Let's just completely kill the culling. Let's make our character a little bit smaller as well, maybe. Since that's now going to be appearing on the footage of the stream, the YouTube video. Turn that down. So what we got here is the 2 dogs are already there. They're just like hidden. So there's Tamar. And there's Tagon in the middle.
Attack now. Destroy them all.
So we open up with 3 cannonades at once. such a crazy mess, to be honest. So then we get the Forged Commander.
This factory and Balthazar's hounds are under my protection. Get out or die. You, I swear, you will die burning. You
Break his
will
bar.
fall before our god.
Doggy 1.
Rose Tamar, hold Tegan in reserve.
Jesus Christ, the fire.
Needs more time. Tamar, return. Release Tegan. Show no mercy.
We get the next one. That actually took really long for that animation to cycle. I don't know why. Or I say animation for the one creature to leave and the other one to come back. Jesus Christ. What is this animation? I don't know what this animation is. What was it that was knocking me away there? And then we get the suck. And a lot of people are dead in the middle. This guy's back. Get the star animation.
Tegan, Tamar, attack! Rip them apart! The factory must not fall!
Holy shit. I'm like right in the middle of that. And immobed. And on the fire line.
I am undone.
Okay. Does anyone in chat know when Dragonstorm comes up as well? Because I want to get footage of that. Holy shit. Look how tanky we are. Everyone else is just getting ripped apart. Okay. We get a brand spark jewel. Okay, so that was one. Let's see. Event timers. When's Dragonstorm? Icebridge Saga. Dragonstorm is in an hour. So it's 1 hour from now. So what can I do in the meantime? Tequatl is up, but I wonder if Tequatl is actually there. Tequatl's not on my list, but it would be good footage. Let's go have a look. All right, let's see what the poll results were as well. Shall we see? View results. 61% on Thief, Guardian 30, Alien Rev 5 and 3%. Okay, it does say Tequatl's attacking.
They would be call us that.
Just gonna have a quick look and grab this then. Basically what I'm going to be doing is talking about Blightghast, the Plaguebringer, in the middle of it. It'd be quite cool if we see a tidal wave. But we would have to DPS it to a battery in that case. I'd rather leap off before dying on that one. So yeah, no one's here. It's fine though. I just need a few seconds. And then we can move on. There's the gods' temples. I doubt this is up. And then we've got some living world instances to go on in. I think that's enough to quarter there. Oh yeah, you can make your own Dragonstorm squad and ignore the timer. Yeah, I only really need footage of it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go get Dragonstorm now then. Why not? By the way, guys, I haven't done very well looking at chat at all since the stream started, really. So if I've missed a comment or something you want to talk about, just ask me. Should we put this on the top right instead of the top left? Because there's a lot of icons and stuff on the top left. Okay, yeah, where do we go? Over to the helicopter? Private squad. I don't know if these people are from the stream or whether they're from LFG a second ago. But it doesn't actually matter. All I have to do is... you know what I like? I like this loading screen, but with our animated character.
Picked a good spot.
Good? Destroyers are crawling all over, and there's no dragons.
They didn't make things easy. Clear out the firebugs and make way for the prisms.
Oh shit, they don't appear until I do the prees? How hard are the prees to solo? Oh, well, we got a few people. Yeah, if anyone wants to come and do this, probably won't do the whole instance. It's probably a waste of time to try that. Let's give it some light. Can I actually take out this destroyer, Fisher? Oh, I can. I think it looks like heavy armor. WP, will you be playing New World? Well, I was close to really considering it because a friend of mine I thought was super into it. It was being described as RuneScape, but like pretty, and I like RuneScape. I kind of like the format of that game. I have a lot on it. That's my first MMO. My first oh my god, looking at chat and I'm dying here. My first MMO is not Guild Wars, it's RuneScape. I got a lot of nostalgia there. And I like the format, I really do. Holy shit. But, so I was interested, but then I was being told it's boring and there's like nothing to do. So, I don't know. We're kind of like flippy-flopping on it. This is my first time running into your in open world Hounds of Balthazar event. Oh, you were at the Strike mission a second ago. Ah, I see. Oh, hello, hello. Sorry, the Mare event. Someone edited it to make the colors pop and it looks like metallic armor. Well, hold on. Wouldn't that just be their edit that's made it look like metallic armor then? This is interesting. It's all destroyers here at the start. It's not like half is Ice Brood and half is destroyer. It's just... Oh wow, can that flip back? You first played RuneScape when you were like 8? I'll probably never forget walking home from school with a friend who was describing to me RuneScape, but just the idea of MMOs in general. It was just so mind-blowing to me. So mind-blowing. It's really weird how I just don't even think about it anymore. But I remember running on a road, once I was in RuneScape, I remember running on a road and seeing someone else run in like an opposite direction to me. And just Oh. It was so cool. It was like the most immersive shit ever. It was like, whoa. Like, I'd never had an experience like that in a game, ever. Like, I'd obviously played multiplayer games, you know, and competitive games and stuff like that. But, like, the idea that it was like a big RPG
Bring 'em down.
and everyone had their own
Break the
story
chains
going on.
connected to the
Holy
dragons.
shit.
Then we use that
It was
magic
good.
against them.
What'll happen to Bram? To Ryland?
Brand new risks.
I'm going to assume she's on a walkie-talkie.
Nice of you to clear out the trash for me, Commander.
Did you grow? You look like you grew. All that Jormig energy can't be good for you.
You picked a weak dragon you knew.
I like how he
could
shrinks
control.
again for the intimate moments later.
I'll show you real dragon power.
Hi, Rocker. Yeah, no, well, I've got a
Jormag
video.
has not yet joined him, champion. You must draw them out.
Oh, I still have that bug where his orange telegraph doesn't appear. I've got a video about strikes, and I'm getting footage for it. That's what's going on here. Do we kill the ads or just cleave him down? To be honest, this is kind of annoying how much pre-work we have to do just to see the dragon heads. Let's dodge that without a telegraph. Should probably res people actually as well. Oh, we're okay. Ah, I can't do that overload. God, I love Gale Song. Gale Song's like my favorite quality of life trait in the game. Jesus, if we have to do Bram as well in a minute, this is going to take us forever. Come on, team, in you get. Alright, we can get this one. We don't really get much. Oh, I can evade it with the. Never mind. I was gonna say Fire 3 might have been able to.
So,
All right.
this
Yes.
is not
Thank God we don't have to go all the way to 0 health.
Let him leave. We can't get distracted.
That didn't go to plan.
Oh wow, everyone's calling it the
He'll be
Guardian
back.
Elite Spec tease.
His
You guys
tribe
think it's
won't let him
Guardian? You
stay
think it's
away
dual wielding
long.
swords? Yeah.
Wonder where he gets that.
I should have done my video about
In the
that. I should because
Fire alarm!
I really think if it is Guardian dual wielding
Bram,
swords,
are
I think
you
that
yourself?
Almora was a tease for it for sure. Well, hold on.
That's unsettling.
Was Icebreed Saga in development at that point? Maybe it was anyway. Maybe they planned to do Elite Specs eventually in the Icebreed Saga. It's just that they
We're not here to kill you.
they never got that
We're
far in
here
the-
to kill Primordus.
We are Primordus.
kind of wanted to do another Earth 2 before that. Bram seems squishier. Whoops. I think I'm realizing that I can queue my skills a lot earlier than I usually do. I think I always wait a lot longer than I have to. Alright, only 4% more. Presumably only 4% more necessary here. I like these Dragonfire Wolves, by the way. Imagine if this was like a more intense experience and you actually like had mechanics to think about with them.
Fire!
Alright, good, finally. Bram is squishier because he scales to the number of players in the instance. Oh wait, and the other character doesn't? Ryland doesn't scale? Is that what you're saying? Ryland doesn't scale, but Bram does? Is that like an inconsistency bug? Someone said that the 3 initiative icons could be virtues. Yeah, I think Boots said that. Oh, no. I think it was just in the comments, wasn't it? I've heard that, though. Somewhere I've heard that, and I think that's a really good idea. I didn't think of that at all.
Just try it.
My champion will teach you to fear the frost.
Ice brood reinforcements!
They're drawing on the ley line. It'll shift the power in Jormek's favor. That's bad.
Not a huge fan of bad. What do?
We need to destroy the ley line siphons. Do that and we can break the connections to the dragons. I'm sure it'll be no problem.
I still got a ton
I've
of achievements
stayed
I
my
need to do
hand
with this.
Before, brother. No more. Today, I obliterate the balance that chains us together.
There you go. That's Jormag's one line. All that intelligence and cunning. All right, let's not sit here whining about this for too long. Right. So that's these two. Don't get me wrong. It's very cinematic. It is. It always was. Okay, so let's go. It's not going to throw me back in, is it? I'm not quite sure how those instances work. Who else was on my list? What do I want to do next? Okay, let's do the Shadow of the Dragon. If anyone wants to come with me, you can do it now. What you want to do is join my team, my party now. You type /join lists. Not /squad join, just /join lists. And then load into the Silver Wastes. /join lists. Well, somebody declined that. I didn't click decline there. Someone else did. Let's do point of no return. And go to the purple dot. Also, Bram says kill ice for the 1 millionth time. Oh, sorry. Don't be like that. Jormag also screams Prime Orders at the end. Very cunning. I missed that. Of course, I like my 3.5 year badge. I asked WP a long time ago for this. Yeah, the badges, guys, keep giving me feedback on the badges. I'm interested in that. The one thing I noticed, I wouldn't dare go to Rocker and ask him to change anything. But the only thing I noticed as I was filtering them on was the gold looks a little bit close to the bronze. So I just hope, I've been wondering, I think the silver really pops and it's like really obvious and really cool. And I've been wondering if there were any messages about that. But generally speaking, I think it's pretty good. The other thing I kind of wanted to do, I mean, I spoke to him a little bit about this. I don't know whether, oh, what am I doing? I shouldn't have done it from there. I kind of like the idea of like each badge being a conversation piece. So like what might be cooler is like you get different animals as it goes. You know, like how in PvP as you rank up, you get like a different animal each time. What if like when you got like 10 years, you became like a Leviathan or something? You know, or you know what I mean? Like there's some cool story because you're getting a new animal. Oh, today I finally got badger, guys, or something. But I don't know how to do that, but also keep it like clearly a Wooden Potatoes brand theme thing or whatever. Okay, these two people need to right-click join on. If you're getting an error, it's because you're EU and this is an NA stream. If that upsets you, go ask ArenaNet to change the infrastructure of the whole game. This is North America, so if you can't join, if you're getting an error, I'll give you a few seconds. Maybe they just haven't figured out how to right-click join on. Yeah, they're on EU. Yeah, this person just said they're on EU. Sorry, yeah, it's an EU stream. I know we've got space for another, but don't worry. We got several instances to rush on into here, so don't worry, guys. Let's put the Lotus on again, shall we? Oh yeah.
Looks like somebody's been here recently.
As soon as we vary away from the potato assets, I hit my limits. I can only rearrange. Yeah, that's all my talent as well. The thing is,
The boss is...
it's like from the data mining, I think you can just pull out like all those pet icons, for example, that are in the game. Like, so there are a ton of animals you can already have access to. So I don't know, that's what I was thinking about. Or something. But it was only ever a fleeting, passing notion. Have I already talked about the new spec teaser? I don't really have much to say, guys. I mean... It's a character dual-wielding swords, possibly heavy armor. If it's Guardian, it's referring to Almora. My hope is that it's Thief and it's a ninja. I mean, I don't know what else I go with there. Alright, stuff. This is always a pleasure to play co-op. Yeah, in we go. Oh my god, that was either a huge moth or a butterfly right outside my window. It's Thief, 100% the boots and medium armor for sure. Yeah, Noct said to me on Discord, it doesn't look like medium armor. But when I looked at it, I saw those boots, and all I could think to myself was, I don't know, man, they look like medium boots to me. I have screwed with OBS in a weird way right now. Hey, Cho. Why people assume it's heavy? I mean, look how it's drawn. The pose is aimed to be over-exaggerate the freedom of movement. Yeah, I think it's medium. I'm only talking about the heavy thing because in chat there it seems like there was a lot of it. Shouldn't I have a torch? What if it started off as a potato sprout? Yeah, we had that concept as well, but there's no art of a sprout. I was literally thinking of that Final Fantasy XIV art, you know, that starts as a sprout when you're a new account. And yeah, I like the idea of it growing. If you're in our Discords, we have a ranking system in Discord as well, but it's based on how much you chat in there. And on that, you start as a sprout, and then you grow into a spud, and then slowly better and better and better spud. And I was thinking of like unifying the two things, you know, but and I mean like completely unifying, because you can integrate Twitch with Discord, right? Like in Discord, it will tell you if you're a Twitch sub, and you can get like the emotes and stuff. Oh, by the way, on yesterday's stream, some of you guys had some really good questions. I was reading through, and I felt really bad. There were some I can't remember them anymore. But some of you guys had like really, really cool ideas about the expansion. And I was like, oh my god, I wish I gave this person my take on their question there. Because they had really, really good one. There was also some poor guy. I don't know if you're listening to me, guy. But they said, hey, WP, I used your affiliate link. Hope that helps. It was something like that. And it totally does. And I wanted to say thank you, but I missed the message over and over and over again. And they sat there for like half an hour copy-pasting that message, hoping for my attention. And they never got it in the end. And I'm sorry about that. Look at this concept art. I'm very sorry about that. I can't remember if I mentioned this on stream, but someone said as well, like the emotes animations, we were talking about that. Like this animation here. Sorry, this emote. I don't know how to do emotes. I thought you could just type it. Oh, I guess it's because I didn't do an uppercase D. That. Tato dash. That could have like a cooldown animation on it, right? Since it's just a Guild Wars 1 skill. So it could just be cooling down. So it looks like you're spamming dash. That's pretty good. I think that's a good idea. You could even do it really, like you see this animation here on Lightning Whip as I'm pressing it. You could even do it like super sophisticated like that as well. Yeah, I'm talking about on the actual icon here. Oh, I can just hold it down to show. Yeah, that thing there. I don't really know how you'd replicate that. And I don't know where you would mine an animation like that out. What is the grinding sound? Good question. I guess just because we're in a cave or it's someone's mini. Proximity to strong memory. It's over here. Unless I'm skipping. Look at this lovely cloud of fireflies and stuff here. I keep looking at animations like this. And I keep one. You know the guy that says, WP, your graphics make me want to vomit. Turn negative LOD bias off. Blah, 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 blah. I've been working on the graphics video again today. So, like, I'm messing with it again. And whenever I see effects like this, I'm like, is this only so good because I've listened to that guy's advice? And I genuinely have no idea anymore. He did a new comment. If you guys were watching Discord closely, he did another comment. He seems to have missed the episode where I dedicated a whole section to him. Stop letting that guy live rent-free in your head, WP. It's not rent-free. He's paying me with views. It's not rent-free. Do you guys think that this lotus is like a bit much? I love it. I love how much it is. I love the slight angle to it. It's brilliant. It only has that angle because I stood it slightly on a fence. Which, like, tilted the thing. But I thought that actually looks quite good overlaid. I was trying some of the other ones as well. I kind of wanted, you know, the jackal. The jackal chair. But it was kind of hard to get a good camera for that one. The brightened version of the Elite Spec teaser is definitely Warlord Heavy Armor. Ooh. WP, why are you running Shadow of the Dragon trying to see if it can be made into a strike? Well, I don't know what can be a strike and what can't. I don't know how any of the coding is or anything like that. But as a concept, the answer to that is totally yes. And that's an argument I want to make in today's video. So I need footage of it. Well, I don't need footage of it. I could just slap anything on there. But I figured it would be nice. Because I really want to make this argument well. So... And it's one thing to sit a random player down and say, hey, remember that content you played 2 years ago? Sorry, 6 years ago? Maybe you did in the replay. That would be good as a strike. It's easy to say that. But seeing it is a whole other world, you know? So I want it in the background. Why would they use an armor that already exists in the teaser, lol? Well, because they don't create whole new sets of Elite Spec armor. They create one piece of Elite Spec armor. Like a shoulder or a headpiece or a glove. They don't do a whole set. So obviously there's going to have to be a base palette. That's why, lol. Boo, lost connection in game. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Samurai offhand? I don't think of samurai as dual wielding swords. Do you guys? I don't know whether it is Warlord's armor, to be fair, by the way, Darren. I really don't. It might be, it might still be medium. He has to be full of crap. I managed to force Windows into DirectX 9 for the game, installed all the stuff, and it made no noticeable difference. Yeah, I haven't tried those techniques since. Because I agree, I think it's a bit crazy. They can have a katana and kodachi. Samurai did have daisho. You guys know so many words related to all that. Just go over my head. But yeah, I did follow some advice about low latency mode and multi-threaded optimizations. that were in my own comments after I made that video, and I felt that advice be really good. I mentioned it on a stream yesterday, and a bunch of you guys on the stream said, wow, I really feel the difference. So there are a couple of things that I do believe in that can be explained to people in the Nvidia control panel, which makes me want to do the updated edition of the video. But I don't know, it's a weird one, guys, because if I'm going to start talking about the Nvidia control panel, I want to know what everything does, like, properly. I don't want to make any mistakes, because people they'll pin you to all. I started looking it up, right? And, people are really goddamn, don't clear this too fast, guys. I kind of want to show as many telegraphs and mechanics as possible. I'm nervous about this kind of video. I feel like people are very, very, very critical if things don't go perfectly. It feels like certain animations are failing here. Sugar blossoms. Have I fucked this now because he hit me with a hand? No. Oh, I need more fire. Holy shit. Oh no, you go to the one with the bubble, right? And you're like defended as you channel. Alright, we can all light the fire now if you guys want to. Yeah, so Bram's given me a bubble here, so even if I get targeted by the hand, I'm fine, because he's pulsing stab on me. You can all get divine fire, right? I don't have to light every single one. Do you guys know the mechanic here? I'm guessing people maybe didn't do it in the replay. You walk into the fire, and then when you have the fire buff on you, you press F and you build it up. It's not only the instance owner that can do this, right? I did this co-op just the other day. Everyone can do it. I don't see anyone else even trying. So there's 2 more fires we need to light over there. Okay, so I got the fire. Ram helps me out. No one's lighting that one over there? No? I'll do them all. Okay. I got the fire. There we go. We've got the ring. And then with DPS. I don't know what that CC was there. It's weird, he was getting loads of invulns, and then, but I was still hitting him with some stuff. So now the smothering shadows come out and put out the fires, and now they're going to be spawning as we go along. Is he still? Alright, there you go. I don't know, I think like a strike mission that has both variations of this fight. The one from the Grove. That's an interesting telegraph they did there. Did you see it? Like, before the animation it shows the whole triangle, and then the segments were rolling out. That was interesting. Thanks so much for the sub. Okay, I don't know why, but this is good because I'm in the brown one. Nice, Gale Song actually helped me there as well, I think. So here, we can't kill it until we get the fire. So you need to grab the fire and then kill them, otherwise they will. There you go. Otherwise, they'll put our existing progress out. But I think that will also consume it. This does seem very buggy. This seems buggier than last time I played it. You don't understand the fire mechanic. Okay, there's a circle. You stand in it. You collect fire from it. The animation is, like, disappearing on my screen. I bet it's because of the culling, you know. I bet it looks bad because of the culling. And then you, no, maybe not. And then while you're holding it, you come and press F and light the fires. Let's not do effect LOD as well. It might be effect LOD that was killing it. I like the footage, looked good. Oh, we can see Casimir's time warps now. His effect LOD's not off. It doesn't give you the fire? Well, there's a chance it doesn't. I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe it's not good co-op. Maybe it's broken. Oh, he's dead though already. Damn it. Well, anyway, there you go. So, yeah, a fight. The shields are definitely super buggy. Oh, does Aegis? I guess Aegis helps as well. Could not see the sub as it's layered behind the character. Yeah, don't worry. I'll turn the Lotus off in a second. Right, so that's them dead. Speaking of the Lotus, I was thinking about the cloud as well. Oh, I can't really do it in here. Oh, I have to go stomp it, don't I? Look, it's just like how they ended Season 1, guys. They did a stomp thing. See? Right, anyway, we don't actually need to do this story, so I'm dipping out. Okay, next, we're off to Season 3. What were the Nvidia 3D settings I talked about on yesterday's stream? Disable multi-threaded optimizations. Turn those off. And turn off low latency mode as well. Make sure that you're not trying either of those. Actually, paradoxically, for both of them, having them off, even though they would to read them and believe in them, you would think everything's going to be fine. But having them off is actually much, much, much better. Don't we stop Balthazar too? I can't remember if there's an execute moment. Maybe playing Ranger's giving you a skewed view, but all these fights are hard for me. Yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't feel bad about it as a Ranger. I'm not surprised. Let's just put the Sylvari back on screen, I guess. All on her lonesome. Right, okay, so what we do now, that's our Season 2. Season 3, I want to show off Rising Frames. And we're going to load into Timey's game. That's Dragon Vigil. Oh, it's not in purple, it's in green. Oh, are these people joining? Let's wait. There you go. They're all loading in. Just taking a while. Guild Wars 2 and Rising Frames, as if. Yeah, I got frames on the brain. These 3 people are all in ultra long loading screens. Install the game on an SSD, guys. Come on. This needs to change. This is the most frustrating shit. This guy's still on a loading screen. Svardi Cold Crag. Alright, let's wait for him. Let's wait for him. There we go. He got there. What's this? Based on the description, unfortunately the default, this was already off. Yeah, it must pretty much suck if you think that there's this cool thing you can do and it turns out you already do it. But just be thankful that you haven't spent years with like weird extra latency that you didn't have to have. Okay, so guys, on this one, there's going to be a monkey fight. I want you to leave. Don't DPS the monkey, please. Whatever we do here, just go really slow because there's like a whole like paragraph of conversation. I want the monkey there. I don't want to have to play like one frame every 5 seconds because it instantly dies. Let's watch its animations and see what it does a bit, yeah? You don't have enough room on your SSD, get a big one. SSD's capacity and per price point has come way, way, way down lately. So they're definitely a lot more budgetary than they used to be. This new PC, I've got 2 hard drives in it. 2 big hard drives. They're like 2 terabyte hard drives. And that's for recording and stuff too. And some of you guys said, WP, don't do that. Just do big SSDs. And I was like, that's insane. That would be so expensive. But it was like actually okay in the budget. And to be honest, I wish that we had done that now. Because I kind of feel like everything just flows better and you get access to better. And especially Vegas works better when it's all feeding out of data from SSDs. Someone else made the argument that like hard drives are noisy and there's always that little bit of a wait as they start spinning up and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish I did a pure SSD build at this point. Let's talk about power creep without talking about power creep. What am I missing? Don't forget about the scrolling combat text. No, I'm not going to have that on. I know I did that tweet. I referenced the tweet in the video as well. But I'll just pull the screenshot from that if I have to. Right, yeah, so just take it easy in here. Imagine this arena's like twice the size or something. It's amazing how big the smoke scale feels there. Jesus Christ. Those sound effects. I'm going to be a hero and lightning work my way to victory. What is with that audio echo? Is that just what it's always like in here? Again, when a monkey appears, don't kill the monkey. Yeah, the music's great in here too, yeah, for sure. Oh, it was a reference to you asking your party not to kill the boss too fast? Well, it's not. That's actually not a power creep story. It would have been easy to accidentally kill this boss, even when it first came out, because they have to aim for, like, one of the reasons this whole strike thing is really good is because they can be more accurate about the tuning. Personal story has to hit such a wide bar of like different player types and capabilities that it's just never satisfying. Never. You know, they have to balance around, like we were talking about the whole green gear thing. Unironically, they probably, I don't know what they asked their QA testers to play in, probably rares maybe, but like on like really wonky builds. So even when this was new, it would have been the same story. When will you upload the first video of you feeding raccoons to fame views? Well, where I live, I couldn't do that. That guy lives out in a woodland where they can all run around. And they're not even in the UK. It would be like I said in Discord, it would be like hedgehogs. What do we actually have here? It'd be like squirrels and hedgehogs. But it wouldn't be like the nice endangered red squirrels. It would be the grey ones. The squirrel whisperer. Foxes? Yeah, if you're out in the country. I don't think I've ever seen... I think I've heard foxes in the night, but I don't think I've ever actually seen a fox. I live in the UK. Funny you mentioning wonky builds. I still use the Burn Guardian build from Boots Bad Build occasionally. Oh, wait. Yeah, here we go. He gets really big, doesn't he? Yeah, he's getting bigger. Bulk stacking. Hormonal imbalance. I swear he has a banana ability. What makes him bulk stack? Eating bananas? He has some kind of flying animation. I just want to see if he unlocks anything when he gets low. He throws bananas. I want to get an animation of him throwing a banana. Oh, I see. They're super bananas. I see. He throws super bananas at you. That's funny. Club bananas. That's it. Club and bananas, basically. Wow, I got hit by a lot more stuff than that, I swear. Club and bananas. Right. Okay. Next. God, it's so hot, guys. It's so hot. You'll get cute foxes, all we get over here are lanky coyotes. Well, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen one. I think they sound quite terrifying as well, don't they? Yep, I saw that they teased the next spec. Now, if Lissa is up on the odd chance, this will be good. Foxes are horrible. Yeah, there's always that thing of like some people. I'll just do a tour of the area. For everyone that finds a certain kind of mammal like really cute or lovely, someone else thinks it's like this disgusting rodent that's like horrible and violent and vicious and so on because they've actually interacted with it a little bit more. Just do a roller beetle lap. This should be a cool raceway. Just make you do a lap of Lissa, weaving in and out of these pillars, like inner, outer, inner, outer. Or like bringing you deliberately close to the edge. You have to do something like this, maybe. Okay. So what we can do is a raw P4 to get a glimpse of one of the statues without the meta being up. So if you guys want to come to the Cursed Shore, you'll find an entrance to the dungeon. They should have put in a roller beetle race from the top of Draconis Mons to the bottom. That's a cool idea as well. Obviously, you didn't see any of them in the Living World releases, though, because they knew it was only a section of the community that would see them. And they've only had time for very little adjustments. The only adjustment they've made so far is that Morgemoth thing, right? The extra little note about Morgemoth's name. I don't remember if they got that there in time for my Let's help Maiko. This is Maiko, guys, and he's going to ascend in this story. Do you want to hear the story, everybody?
Elder dragons first awoke, they gathered the unspoiled magic in the world and locked it within a great artifact, the first Bloodstone. The human gods recovered this Bloodstone and gave magic to the human race. When humanity could not handle that power, they split it into 5 parts. The first Bloodstone was broken into pieces in Ara. I've modified an Asuran device to follow divine energies. I think we can find shards from that event, and perhaps its location.
They can't bring attention to the altar again. Yeah, don't talk to me about the altar. I feel like maybe I'm missing some crucial detail about that, which explains why they're happy to ignore it for years and years and years. But hey. Right, so we'll just get to the Balthazar statue, and we'll just have a good little look at him. Someone asked how easy this is with power creep. It's a lot easier now, yeah, for sure. It always makes me sad having to talk about that kind of stuff, because it's like Guild Wars was about, like, one of the whole points about removing the carrot on the stick and the level raises and the gear raises and stuff was to keep all this content valid for as long as possible, only for them to like then adopt this weird philosophy where they're just like charging on ahead and never looking back at the old dungeons. And so it's like half of what your franchise's principal philosophies are about are not being utilized. It's just crazy. Let's keep that clean. Well, hold on. Isn't there a... Oh, yeah. Hold on. There's going to be a fight here. Let's get some might going for the team. Right, so we kill the doggies. These guys can still hit hard, by the way, so careful. I actually missed that dodge. It was blind from my Grandmaster trait. Then they drop the orbs, and you put the orbs in. Now, can we not effect spam the statue itself too hard? Because all I'm really trying to show is the model of the statue on this one. Is the FF14 stream still happening, or has it been replaced by this? I don't know, really. I'm just taking it easy. I'm going to finish this. See if I can talk about the specialization teaser. And then later on in the day. It might not happen. It might be a tomorrow thing, to be honest. Alright, yeah. So he's smaller than the other one. This sucks. I can't see him. This sucks. It doesn't help that he's permanently on fire. But these guys all have really unique, awesome looking models. Jesus Christ, what is actually cleaving me then? You know, I bet a lot of it's the bloom. Yeah, a huge amount of it is the bloom. It's just crazy, man. Right, and he doesn't appear in a side-by-side cutscene. Okay, so that's good enough there. What next? Alright, let's do our Season 4 instance now. Kind of did that in a weird sequence. I should have done the Season 4 one right after the cave. So, for Season 4, we are going to the Exterminator Golem. So that's a bug in the system. And that's going to be the charge. Did you turn effect LOD back on? No, I'm keeping it off because I don't know. It's a weird one because I want to see everything. Do you know what I mean? My dream with this PC was to have like Zerg footage, unculled Zerg footage without effect LOD, so you see everything in some big ass like awesome looking meta event. That's what I'd love, but it's 60 FPS or at least 30, 24 FPS. You know, shit, it's on that cliff, isn't it? I don't know what I'm doing here. I need to go up. Oh, we could just be fishing, by the way. I was thinking of doing a troll video where it's fishing footage and it's just me standing here doing the fishing event here. One thing I haven't actually said on any of my videos yet. Is this guy coming? I'll wait a few seconds to see if he's coming. If not, we'll just go. One thing I wanted to talk about is the idea that there could be a fishing meta event and there could be fishing, like, you know, moments for us. He loaded in right here. Did he just TP to a friend? Let's see if his loading screen's over. I bet it's not. He had the long loading screen earlier as well. This is just so aggravating to me because ArenaNet have probably created so many problems. Think about the number of people that don't realize that he can't see the pop-up because he's still on a loading screen. Right, and if I let this end, we get thrown in, you know. And if anyone else clicks no, it's like it's just so bad. And he has no way of getting the pop-up up. Now he's moving. His loading screen's over. Those are some really long loading screens, dude. By the way, what was that? That was like a 50-second loading screen. All right. Wow, no, this is wrong. This is not the right thing. This is a great start to an instance, by the way. This is a very easily forgotten about beat. This is actually really surreal and strange. To be able to fly alongside an airship that's moving. This is actually really goddamn cool. It's all got collision as well. Look at this! Be a sky scale clinging to the edge of a moving airship. And it works. You let go and it's moving away. You cling and we're on it. I mean, this is really good. I'm telling you guys, Season 4 did not get the credit that it deserves. Anyway, that's not the instance. So, let's all load up. It would be hilarious if there was a fishing meta event that brought out a world boss when you overfished a map. I could see them doing that. I don't even think hilarious is the word I'd describe there. I'd just say that's cool. So, I guess... Wait, so how do we... I know the instance is here, right? So where does it start? If it's not the charge... It's not the one that we trigger from all the way up here, is it? Oh my god, it totally is. Which one is it, though? Let's consult with our journal. Vodka. I think it's a kindness repaid. I feel like it's a kindness repaid. Let's go have a look at that. Would you accept a new Potato Cam submission? I noticed them at the beginning of the streams. Yeah, I just have the whole playlist, like, just chaining together. I mean, yeah, I'd accept one. I don't think it's really worth your time, if I'm totally honest. So I don't recommend you do it. But if you want to, yeah, I'll put it on screen. It worries me that no one in chat is confirmed my suspicion that it's a kindness repaid, but I think it is. It's interesting that all the entrances to these instances are here, since you only really need to... Tracking the scientist is the start bit. The test subjects. Speak to the Omicron elders. Travel to the mysterious child's village. Help the Omicron. Oh, I really like this. I love having the different entry points. Oh. Wait, I thought we fought the Exterminator Golem in the Elder's room, though. Was it here? Was this where the fight was? No, it's definitely in their room. The Omicron are so lame. It was interesting hearing them talk a little bit about how they wanted to create char that felt like they didn't quite fit the regular mold of char. But they just went too far with them. Like, I like the idea of, like, the wild feral char or the more nature inclined, the more primal char in that way, but to just make them all, like, family is my favorite thing. Like, I don't know. It's too far. Defend yourself. Oh, I remember this. Is this before the actual end fight? If you look in the distance when Aurene comes, she flies under some rocks and actually hits her head, then she has to adjust her flight. Really? That's quite funny. Oh, that was a quick break. Gale's song once again. I feel like this isn't right because the inquest attack isn't going on right now, is it? I feel like I could have picked a better checkpoint. Do you think the teaser could be hinting towards a support type thief spec where you have the option to steal from friendly targets and steal their class identity to enhance your utility skills with their aspect and maybe give like different kinds of boons? You have an interesting idea. I see absolutely no indication that any of that is going to happen in terms of what the art is. You've got a cool idea, but that's what that is. That's an idea of yours. I don't see any... Here we go. So now the Inquest are attacking. But we have to do the whole escort now, right? Oh, I got in combat. I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to be spamming Eye of the Storm. I'll turn off the signet if I can. You guys can kill stuff enough that I'll be able to break. You know, I think, you know, this patch played Inquest and it played with a new form of char, right? I actually think I would be more in favor of the reverse, given how overused antagonistic Inquest are and how underused antagonistic char had been at this point in the story. I really like the idea of we find some sympathetic Inquest that are suffering at the hands of these rogue char. And it was a switcheroo. I think that would have been an interesting take. Also, wasn't this map all going to be about a volcano at first? And they kind of got rid of all that. You always see my YouTube content, never see them on Twitch? I'm very rarely on Twitch, that's why. It's good to see you though. But yeah, the idea of stealing from allies, by the way, I don't know how the targeting there would really work. It's a bit messy. They don't like this loop of like clicking the party window and trying to get a target and all that kind of stuff. So I don't see how that works exactly. you know, you could ground target on someone, but then what if you hit 2 people at once? How do you know who you've collected the item from? I think the idea of playing with steel in new and fun ways is definitely badass. It's just, what is the exact technique they'll go with? I'm an idiot. I'm in the wrong place. I'm going up this way. Good job to the one guy who knows. It's a Farah. What a leader. Do you plan to play New World? I get asked that a lot, man. That's a crazy thing, isn't it? Is that a sign I should be playing it? So far, I have very little interest in it. There's a theory that it's teasing because it's got that bit of a blue glow to it, so it's stealing Guardian stuff. Does that have a bit of a blue glow? Sorry, I thought the teaser I saw was black and white. What is it? What's going on, guys? Is there more than one teaser? People are talking about like metallic colors and stuff. What? That was just a fan thing, though, right? It's got blue and red glow. Kurzik Luxin. Whoa, blue and red. That does work, actually. There's an enhanced version of it. Yeah, okay. You got to be careful of that word enhanced, though, right? Because if it's not unofficially, you know, I could color it green if I want and say, oh, it's a necro thing. It's just enhanced. I enhanced the underutilized green in the RGB, and now it has been improved. They changed the saturation and the brightness, which obviously ruins the colors. You like the idea of the spec being tanky? Maybe steel could become riposte that if used correctly triggers a different counterattack based on your target's profession. Yeah, but you got to remember, people are using it in PvE. I mean, that's always the thing with Thief and the steel mechanic especially. It's like, I don't know. I want my own idea about this as well. I think that steel is the way to go. It's just a question of what. The idea of like an infiltrator that like goes into people's houses and steals their stuff, like a burglar kind of thing almost. But it's like a ninja burglar. I think kind of works with the theme of the expansion stuff. But what are you... And the mechanic, therefore, is all about pushing deeper into steel. But what does that look like? I almost feel like it's just a... It's like a core line thing. I don't know. More ammo for stolen skills? Sort of been there, done that. I don't know. Ampha. Well, I don't think you'd call it Ampha. That's like calling a warrior the Jade Brotherhood. That doesn't work, does it really? But something like Mafioso, maybe, and it's a Jade Brotherhood Knight. I don't know. I think you could have an iconic character that represents that specialization, and the iconic character is a member of the Ampha. That could work. Also, I think the term Mozing is more likely to be used. If they're doing that with the whole face mask anonymity thing, Mozing is where it's at, really. That would be such a cool name. Is that what we're looking at, guys? The Mozing. RWP's eyes immune to seeing Link. What do you mean Link? Do you mean hyperlink? Yeah, I don't see any hyperlinks in chat. My opinion on the new Thief Steel is it's a 2-tap steel. You mark them with a kunai dagger on their head. Drops a kunai marker on the location. You pass it, then second tap, teleport to them. Third tap, go back to the kunai marked spot on the ground. Ninja spec. Are you talking about Katarina Shumpo, basically? I don't see any... I mean, again, that's a fun idea. Why is that your opinion on that's what it is? I mean, you can have a cool idea on what you want, but that doesn't mean that that's what it is, does it, really? I don't think we have any information. We don't have anywhere near enough information right now. Here we go, finally. This is the Exterminator fight. Yes, I meant linked. Someone linked you the version with the up contrast and thingy. Oh, it was Cho that did it. And he's linked it here. It's only brightness contrast, so it's 100% brightness contrast, so it's 100% legit. Okay, I can see it now. I see it. I see Cho's enhanced. Do you guys want it on screen? After we get this exterminator going footage, I'll put it on stream for you. Now look at this. This is a strike mission arena. This is so perfect. It's unreal. Like in terms of scale and stuff. Look at this. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm using Dagger 3 the way that I am in Earth, it's because when I mob I do bleeds on this, and it's a little bit of extra pressure than I would normally use the skill. Volatile plating. He's 75% more resistant to damage from all sources right now. What's this expanding AoE? Get out the core. This is going to create an epic burn phase now. I mean, look at this. Slow it down a little bit, guys. You can see how this is, like, very Sunqua Peak-like, right? Right? Sunqua Peak totally just took this idea of the circular effect around the arena. Right? Like, we did it yesterday. You guys know what I mean, right? Jesus Christ, that burn phase is so long. We missed a lot of mechanics there. He's basically a strike already. Just needs new tuning. Right. Okay. Let me get this image for you all. There, that's what we're looking at. I've got some opacity on that, which I'm not getting rid of because that's the potatoes. But yeah, that's the idea. It is very heavy armory, isn't it? I can definitely see what people are saying about Cho there. What Cho's done. What do you guys think? You think that's medium? Is that medium warlords or is that heavy warlords? Heavy warlord? Now, does the blue and red mean Kurzik / Luxon? To me... No. No one has painted anything. Cho just bumped up the brightness. You guys want us to poll? Is Rocker still in chat? Does he want to do the poll? Oh, he hasn't been in chat for a while, actually. It looks like. Alright, I'll do the poll. New poll. Yeah, I'm thinking it's either guard or thief. What do you guys think? Heavy or medium? Guardian or thief, essentially? What do we think? Get your votes in. Yeah, after seeing this colouring, I'm less 100% certain about thief, but I still lean thief. ArenaNet retweeted a lot of Yao's character being called an engineer and they have a jade arm. Take from that what you will. Sorry, it's a thief in heavy armor since they said in End of Dragons they're removing armor types. What are you talking about? They said that they're removing armor types. Am I completely out of touch? What's this guy saying? They said in End of Dragons they're removing armor types. What are you talking about? I like these moments where clearly someone's got no idea what's going on. It's just like some massive game of Chinese whispers. But that's like, look at the certainty with which people speak on the internet. Look at that. It's just mental. I bet he won't speak up in chat again now. Come on, waltzing stoic. Everyone's looking at you. The whole room has stopped speaking to look at you and address this. What are you talking about? They said they're removing armor types. He says yes? Question mark? What? What? What do I say? I don't know how to respond anymore. They said they were breaking rules. I'm guessing he's heard someone talking about the fact that they're breaking rules and someone else speculated that that might mean that they're dismantling armor types and now he thinks that that's the fact. Maybe is what happened. He just repeated it. He just said they said in End of Dragons they're removing armor types. Give him a chance, guys. It might be us. You've got to do this. You've always got to give them the benefit of the doubt. We might be in the wrong. Clearly, it's a dev in disguise. I like how he doubled down. I have respect for that. I'm going to put the potatoes back on screen. We got a job to do here. Oh, wait. What? What am I doing here? What have I done wrong? It might be us that's wrong. Maybe there is a quote, and I just don't know. And I've not told any of you guys, so none of you guys know. Right? I mean, there's a possibility there. Channel and icons. Right. Should we keep the potatoes real big? Now it's like a couch for our guy. Alright, did he speak again? I'll hear back from you all in 6 months. Dude, you might be right. He might be right. I think it's a good guess, and I think it's in line with what they said about that they're breaking rules. But they haven't said that. They haven't said it. You know, you can make a good guess, but it's still a guess. It doesn't make you right if you end up being correct on the fact, right? It doesn't mean... How do I phrase that? That sounds tautological, I just said. That head is not the fractal headpiece. Or on the armor thing. I mean, they're saying it's Warlord stuff. If I was on a heavy, I'd just quickly preview it, but... Alright, okay. What do I want next? What else do I have on the list? I want to get the End of Dragon stand. I doubt anyone's doing this at the moment, though. No need to wait 6 months. Beta is in 2 weeks. Map closes. Wait, is it, No, it's not done. Do I do a whole dragon stand for the sake of a couple of minutes of footage? I think not. I think not. I think I just, like, do this. Can we fly over there? I don't need the battle. Is there any way to break over the walls and fly over there when none of the meta's done? How would removing armor types affect the game? I mean, yeah, it's a pretty arbitrary thing to be in the game at this point, which you could take as an argument for removing it. But then also, what do you gain from removing it? What do you gain from breaking that rule? You can pull a switcheroo on people with this Guardian thing. I mean, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's another point as well. They can't really remove them. They would just lift the restrictions, yeah. I mean, okay, so what do you gain? You gain, like, some Fashion Wars stuff. They maybe gain a little bit more freedom in terms of, like, theme and stuff on new generations of Elite Specializations. Like, maybe they're completely exhausted on Ellie ideas at this point, after this new gen. Maybe they're completely exhausted. But if they can just imagine an Ellie in, like, heavy armor, there's a cool Elite spec that they can build around that. That, like, concept, that theme. Again, mechanics don't actually really matter. So maybe that's why they do it. There are some things to gain. Like, I think it's a good guess. It's not a fact that they've said it. You know, that's just pure nonsense and lying. It's not a mistake. It's a lie. It's a blatant deception and game of Chinese whispers. But, I mean, it's a good idea. So, like, you put a warrior in light armor, and look, he's a monk, you know, or medium armor or whatever. Or a guardian in light armor, and he's a monk. He's like a caster monk, like Guild Wars ones. They were really, really careful about the invisible walls here, eh? I know there's definitely a hole somewhere that if we can just squeeze in. I mean, this is good enough, to be honest. That tower is weird. You don't really get the sense of it being that tall when you're on the inside of it. Probably because it's not that tall when you're on the inside of it. We could stay for 2 minutes and let him blast us out of the map as well. Oh, Rocker's back. Rocker, you missed the whole Exterminator Golem and the pole. No, don't worry about the hole. Don't worry about the hole. We'll just move on. We've got a couple of other things to shoot. What else do I have? Oh yeah, the Balthazar fight. I'll go have a look at in a second. They're more likely to run out of weapons before they say, what if we use heavy armor elementalist? You can make any aesthetic and call it light, medium, etc. I honestly feel like breaking the armor weighting aesthetic barrier is more beneficial for unlocking new concepts than weapons. Like, really, I almost feel like the weapon that it's holding is arbitrary to a certain degree. Like, I'm immediately, if I think about, say, a warrior in, I don't know, it's hard. You know what, the whole thing's fucked. I've said it before, I don't think they should do elite specs. They're gonna get so bad and so messy and so, like, just weird, and balance is just gonna get worse and worse and worse. Because the game was already so all-encompassing. Like, what is a warrior in medium armor? So what is he? He's like quite sturdy. He's running around with a greatsword maybe or something. He's got medium armor on. What are we talking about? We're talking about a ranger, all right? We're talking about a ranger. It's close enough. We're talking about Aragorn. Aragorn is a greatsword ranger. You know, it's. Oh, we're talking about a footman, are we? So now we get to like these. I don't know. They're just not that captivating. But yeah, when I think of like an Ellie in medium armor, I don't know. I feel like there's some rich stuff there, maybe, or like an Ellie in heavy armor, or like, you know, the Revenant thing where its icon looks a lot like the Writ icon. You know, if they're breaking that rule, if the new generation Revenant is in light armor, then that becomes a Writ very quickly, very comfortably, very easily. All right, we'll get the cutscene now. That's interesting they say outpost there as well, by the way. The whole outpost idea. Oh, guys, I was watching my video on, like, Heart of Thorns press. My first hands-on for Heart of Thorns. And it was weird to hear me talking about outposts and stuff like it was going to be a thing in the game. Oh, there's a comparison of the in-game artwork and the in-game armor and the artwork. Oh yeah, it's definitely it, isn't it? It's definitely Warlord armor. It's heavy Warlord armor. Hey, there's enough details here. Do you guys mind me putting these videos in these images in the video? I could do a video about it. There's enough details here. What if ArenaNet somehow did profession swap like FF14? I don't see why this game needs it really with how alt friendly it is. Okay. Balthazar. Let's go to the Hanging Gardens of Joko. You guys are welcome to join me. I don't know how much the brand is going to strike us for here. Oh no, we're fine. Springer is very, very comfortable. Get quite a lot of texture shimmering on these stairs here. Don't really know how to resolve that with the control panel. Right. Quit a bug in the system. To killer gods. It's quite good doing this on stream because it means I'm doing it co-op. And the idea is to talk about these instances in a co-op setting. That guy was with us a second ago, Nexus. Do you want to come, Nexus? It's kind of frustrating waiting on this one because we're getting struck by lightning as we stand here, so I'll just try and wait here. Maybe this will be fun. I hope they never give Ranger firearms. I don't know, man. I think you'll see it. I think people have wanted... I think Rifle Ranger is a really good idea for this expansion. Look, I think if they're very accurate and clever, they can probably get 2 really good generations of elite specs. I think if they're insanely clever... like unrealistically so, you might find a 3rd one. So we got End of Dragons, whatever comes next. You might find there's still elite specializations after that. I'm talking about 2026, 2027. We might still, maybe still be in a world where Guild Wars 2 is getting elite specs. But the gravy train has to, after that, I mean, we're already pushing it. I believe in the end of the road after End of Dragons, personally. Because what I think you'll find is one of 2 things can happen. I know he's here, but he's probably in a loading screen. One of 2 things... let's assume that they're going End of Dragons and then there's an expansion afterwards. Okay? Let's assume that. And let's assume we're in the dream scenario as well, by the way, where they confirm that. But do you know what would be really good? If we had a title for the post-End of Dragons expansion on End of Dragons launch. If that wouldn't build some sense of, like, game future and, like... that would do so much for the community. I think people would be really, really happy about that. It would make you a lot more forgiving about any failures of End of Dragons as well, because you would just know, you know, finally you could trust that stuff's going on with Guild Wars and that they're not doing any crazy shenanigans behind the scene. Just to have a name. Or even, like, can you imagine if there was, like, a teaser? Oh, it would be so good. Like, a teaser is in, like, a single screenshot or something. Anyway, let's assume... that it's End of Dragons this February, and 2 years after that, let's say April, it's another expansion. It's like a 26-month development time for a whole expansion. Let's say that. Let's say that. That's pretty fucking fast, all right? But let's say people would happily spend the money on that if the devs could create it, if the studio could put it there. Now, in that world, one of 2 things can happen with that next set of elite specs. Elite specialization 10 to 18. All right? Those ones. That's a lot of goddamn elite specs that they've crunched out since, what, 2020? one of two things can happen. They can either be really good because the team is filled with inspiration and has solved a bunch of problems and is like really in the flow of it, and they can just and they've never experienced the idea of like just working on it consistently like that. So they're amazing because they're constantly in the zone, and that kicks them into another level. Either that happens, or the other thing happens, which is that they're dog shit and terrible because the studio's completely exhausted and they've got no idea what to do anymore. They're pulling their hair out, and all the mechanics are like rubbish, and the animations are rubbish, and they're not tightly made, blah, 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 because they haven't had enough time in the oven. Now, you can call me a cynic, but I really do think you're running the risk of the latter on that. Even just for the next expansion after End of Dragons, let alone one after that. Well, what are we talking about now? 36 elite specializations? 36? I mean, so many of you guys just think about your class, you know? And you're like, oh, yeah, they can go for ages, but they do so much. I just don't see it, really. So I think it has to end. Anyway, so I think this arena would have to be a bit bigger. Do I chunk the cooldowns down with the Sahothan abilities? Can you imagine this, by the way? Imagine a strike mission or a raid where one player has a powerful artifact and they get to DPS with it, or they get to perform some utility with it. And you're like, it's a strategy to decide who's getting what. My god, we're DPSing him so hard. We're missing the whole fight. I think that's pretty interesting. Don't we have to free Aurene right now? I just double Eye of the Storm. That's hilarious. Not even trying to avoid the animations and stuff here. I really think this would be such a good strike. Don't you guys? Am I crazy? Maybe I should have used the skill 4 while it was broken. But as I've got in my commentary track for this video, where do I stand? There it is. This is already really good in single player, so to a certain degree, I wonder whether it matters that much. But I think it'd be really good. Sorry, Aurene. Is she actually wounded or what? What is that? She had a timer on her. Don't forget, you guys don't have the music on this stream, so you don't get half how epic this is. Not to mention all the, Oh, you do have a little bit of music, it's just quiet. Save her. I'm gonna wait for him to stop speaking. Why don't I have the special action? There it is. Oh my god, I don't have it again. Hello? Do you think the new strike should be a way of obtaining legendary armor? Yeah, or legendary infusions, or legendary trinkets, or legendary fishing rods, whatever they're doing. Am I excited about doing strike missions to get a bunch of fucking Aurene skins? No, not at all. But I mean, I suppose. Wait, when I did this the first time, I hadn't done the Living World episode where you unlocked the special action, so I couldn't finish the fight. What? No, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I would have heard that before now. You can't be Path of Fire unless you've played A Crack in the Ice. That can't be right. It's true. Might have been a bug. Oh, what? It's like a launch day bug kind of thing? Okay, I can believe it was a bug for a while, but I feel like I would have heard of that if that was real. Like, to this day. Oh, I got a host. Thanks very much, man. We just got a host from Mailer. Thank you very much. No, I noticed. I noticed. So much visual noise now. I love how these appear as summons of mine with my guild tag. Right, okay, so we don't need to watch this cutscene now. Next, I do mention the Lazarus fight. Let's go do that. As long as there's a checkpoint. Is this Ellie's new weapon in End of Dragons? What, just a Hothin? They already... Ellie's weird because they kind of, you know, I don't know... If you consider their conjure weapons, they actually are, like, quite limited for choice, much like Warrior is in a lot of ways. Can we get in the air, please? Right, yeah, let's go to the Reliquary and, I don't have to do anything special to get in, right? Thanks very much for the sub there, Robert Spectral. Thank you. We're nearly back up to 400. Just from doing a couple of random streams this past couple of weeks. You love the giant Elder Dragon heads so much. I think I think at this point, I look at that and it makes me think of Dragonstorm a little bit too much. Which I'm guessing is what you're joking about there. Right, replay. It should just be a purple dot at the entrance, right? Yeah, it is. Wow, I'm surprised it took us that long to sync there. You can get in from up here, right? Do you think they'll ever revisit or update Quarteria maps? They definitely show their age. I don't know. It all depends on what their leadership's like now and what they're thinking. For the first... what, 7 years of this game's development, they've seemed very, very negligent of early game stuff and like updating old stuff because it's not as marketable. So they just race forward all the time. But personally, I would love to see them do that, and I've argued for it for many, many moons. It's hard to know, as always though, it's hard for us to know in the community like what the actual stats say and like what the bottom line is for budget and what, you know, what really matters. As just a fan of the game and as someone who wants the game to be as good as possible, especially to the eyes of new players, I've always argued for it. But it's also, you know, when we're on this side of the looking glass, you can't really you can't really say what's smart to do, just what you want to see. Okay, Charlie's offline, so let's kick him. If anyone wants to join this last slot for the last chance. This is actually the current replay as well, so I might ding something here. I don't know whether I will. What would be more work? 9 elites or 3 classes? 3 classes would be more work. I don't argue for either of them. I believe in, as I've said before, cultural specs or racial specs as I used to call them. And you do stuff themed around those. Except all the professions get them. It's much better. The devs can put in less work, but like right now when an X-Pack comes out, you only get 1 class expansion. Under my proposal, you can actually get 2 or even 3 at once. And it's still less work for the studio. Because instead of doing like a 9 elite specs that a lot of their players only care about 1 or 2, because they're spread out over everyone, you appreciate everything they do. The whole player base can use it, so the whole player base, like, so they could only make 2 elite specs, but people perceive double value. They're making 2, not 9. You feel like you're getting double value, and obviously a lot of people do care about multiple classes, and the more veteran you are, the more you do. But again, they're not the thick part of the bell curve. So I talk about these, by the way. I think these are really interesting enemies. They only appear here, and there's a mini. This is a pretty good strike size room as well. I remember this being smaller than it actually is. This is a good little size, I think. I loved playing this in this patch, man. I remember being really excited about this pool of water. You know, Abaddon is the god of water and so on. Livia casting fragility. That's one big ass portal. And they for their 43rd month. Congrats on the sub. Yeah, I'm on North America at the moment. Oh, we got a 5th person, but I'm guessing he's EU, so he can't come. Oh, it's Shroom. Yeah, it's North America. This whole instance had some cool stuff. Cool little puzzle room. Have we talked about the silhouette already? Yep. I mean, if people have further thoughts on the silhouette, I'll read them out. Not necessarily. New classes don't have to get 3 specs on release. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of that. But it's still more. A class is 5 lines, multiple weapons, at least 4 weapons, 5 utility skill trees. An elite spec is like a 5th of that. Just a baseline class is like 5 times that of an elite spec. Just a baseline class. Let alone releasing it with elite specs. I mean, how pie in the sky is that? That's mental. Not to mention the profession mechanic. So what are we proposing? An elite spec that, I mean, I could go across. We'll see how they do. They only need 4, right? Oh, and we only have 4 people, so to be honest, I should have gone across. Now, I can't remember. Do we die? The patterns change. I like to see the different patterns anyway. Oh, if we all did it at once, we could, like, cheese this, I guess. Since the Delgamore Fractal came out, this doesn't feel so impressive, but it is still impressive, I think. I guess playing Rev's pretty good here, because while you hold the orb, you could still use shit like super speed or like Malik's jump. I mean, they probably lock out your utilities, right? For what it's worth, you may as well just Bull's Rush on a warrior or something. Shadow Step. Lightning Flash, Blink. Whatever. Do you think it would be easier to do more elite specs if the game had a bigger focus on the Holy Trinity? No, I don't. I think most conversation about the Trinity is like really useless. I think the whole framing of like role designation in MMOs has nothing to do with the Trinity, but because that's what people know and like to talk about, it like corrupts the whole conversation. So what do I mean by that? I really do believe in an MMO with no Trinity, because roles can be bespoke and specific to certain scenarios. You know, if you're cannons at Sabbatha, you have a role that's approximating, that's doing the exact same thing as the Trinity does. The Trinity is just like an efficient baseline, quick and easy, simple role designation. But you don't need to do that. It's just a nice, efficient baseline. You don't need to. You just make sure the content itself has enough roles for people, you know. If I'm flak, I'm like a form of support if I'm a flak person, you know. If I'm kiting some mechanic away from people. You might also call that sort of a form of control, to be honest. But, You know, that's all that matters. All that matters is that people have designated things they do where they feel their impact. You know, their contribution isn't drowned out by the fact that they're 1/10 of a group. Their contribution is very obvious because they're the only guy doing this role, or that one of two people are the only guys doing this role. And everything would fall apart without them doing it. So you feel like the hero. That's all that matters, you know. You feel like the hero because you're healing. You feel like the hero because you were the guy that actually defeated the boss by doing the damage. You're the hero because you stayed alive, eating shit, while everyone else, you know, struck from the flank or whatever. That's all the Trinity ever needed to do and tried to do. And I think ArenaNet was right to say, okay, you don't really need to lean too hard into the Trinity. ArenaNet themselves didn't think very deeply about what they were doing, I think, at launch. That's very rich for me to say, but a lot of their old interviews and stuff kind of, like, look at this guy. I make the argument in the video that strikes around bosses and environments you don't see much are obviously more fun. And that's why I talk about them. Like, ArenaNet actually had an idea of, like, dynamically shifting Trinity. That the scale at which they were talking was always very confused. Like, what do I mean by that? Like, sometimes you heard them talking about it, and it was just a philosophy of profession. And it was like, any profession can choose to be a tank, a support, or a healer. Controller, a support, or a damage. You have the capacity. It's not something that it was like the race thing, you know. It's like you're not screwed by character, by your choices at character creator. Every profession has the capacity to hit one of these roles. Sometimes they were talking about it on that scale, and then other times they were talking about it as like an emergent thing that could happen mid-fight. Like an exciting moment might be when your tank dies and you weren't expecting that. So someone else should be able to step up and be the tank. So look, we're going to have weapon swapping, and Elementalist can attunement shift, and, you know, I can go into war attunement to heal up now because the other healer died and stuff like that. And they were talking about it on that scale, which obviously is a different thing, really. And that's not to say they were mutually exclusive. It's just I don't think the devs thought carefully about it. Like, if we look nowadays, you know what I find quite interesting? This little button here, in which I can toggle in and out of my PvP or my PvE build. And maybe this is like a Berserker amulet, and this is like, you know, a Nomad's tank set or some shit, right? The idea that you can dynamically... Because obviously, I'm skipping a whole part of the discussion, which is the way that attribute assignments work according to gear, and the fact you can't change gear fight kills that dynamic. That dynamic idea, that emergent idea, is kind of dead because of the way that they did gear and attribute assignments. And again, I think it's because they didn't think very clearly about exactly what they wanted to do. And then they ended up building an RPG that wouldn't facilitate it. But this button kind of, you know, if they lent into this kind of thing, they could actually realize that vision, that specific dynamic idea, could come in. Even years and years and years later down the line if they wanted it to. You know, I think about FF14 and building a limit break up. It's interesting to me to think of like a global party resource you build up a bit like a limit break. Except when you spend it, what it allows someone to do is change their gear mid-fight. And the idea is you can use that resource to dynamically adapt when an oh shit moment happens. To swap someone very quickly from being your tank role into your support role or something like that. I think that there is space for that. That's an interesting concept. I don't think Guild Wars has to do that. I don't think they have to listen to some of those old conversations of the past. But, you know, that's what I think is more interesting to talk about. Like, and really, the Trinity is like sort of a sideshow to me. Yeah, exactly. Light years away in chat says, look, if a Magi Ellie dies, a Zerk 1 won't fill the gap by swapping to War Achievement. Exactly. Like, the game doesn't work on that scale. Because even though they had that idea, and they were marketing that idea and thinking about that idea, they never, like... This is what I mean. I don't think they thought really deeply about it. So the infrastructure that would have to be there, the way that we think of rotations and access to our tools and stuff, and the way that gear assignment works, all of that had to be figured out. And I don't think any meetings on that kind of level ever happened at the studio. So you know, we ended up with a lot of gear homogeny in the end. We ended up with Zerk. And it's weird because you can kind of like I think they were fucking about and didn't know what they were doing, even like right after the game came out. Like, you can kind of just say, all right, everyone's in Zerk all the time and still do that vision. It's just you care about tools like... Oh, I need to put the aspects in. Sorry, everyone. The tools we're talking about now are blinds and Aegis and stuff like that, rather than brute force healing or brute force aggro control. Like, I think a lot of where Guild Wars went is by accident and just lack of foresight. Because these are really big, really complicated, really difficult things to design for, and in many cases without precedent in the industry. So, you know, it's not like I can blame them or call them unprofessional or whatever. You know, they were trailblazing in a lot of ways, and that means that you're going to miss details. It's easy to talk about in hindsight. But I do think that, you know, I think it's wrong to say Guild Wars 2 sucks because it doesn't have the Trinity. Like, that's so wrong in so many ways. A world without the Trinity is fine. You can still have role and designation and gear that's interesting to and builds that fill specific niches. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can do it all. You just got to figure out what you're trying to do, and I don't think the studio ever did that. What do I feel about crit healing? I don't think it solves any problems with the game, but I mean, it would be fun. Like, what I was trying to explain with the Zerk meta thing is you can kind of, you know, you can have, like, the base amount of a blast in a water field be really high, and it doesn't really have any great coefficient strength. It doesn't scale that strongly. But you can have the baseline be really strong, and you can say, well, just put everyone in Zerk, and when they have an old shit moment, it's all about the group coming together to blast water fields. And to a certain degree, it felt like that's kind of what they were leaning into for a while. But still, you still have, like, this gear homogeny thing, which I think people aren't really looking forward to. I don't remember how this works. I just remember it's a fight that I reckon could, you know... Okay. So I can cleanse Spectral Agony. Find a way to hurt Lazarus. CC when the aspects are near. Okay, so we break the Eye of Janthir's bar. It pulses. And what does it do? Oh, you break the bar very easily. The cooldown is... Oh, here we go. The eye temporarily loses control and unleashes a wave of powerful magic. Shit, I never used my special action. Okay, my downstate Signet of Agony procs that there. It's actually quite poetic. Okay, so doing that just makes them vulnerable, and then we do actually need to kill them. So bring it over to another aspect of Lazarus. Oh my god, I need to change that keybind. Oh, that's good, right? We can get 2 of them there. We got this one. Lightning barrier. Someone was saying in Discord the other day that they didn't actually describe any of these details. Oh, we're just defending Livia now, aren't we? In this game, and that you needed to play Guild Wars 1 to understand them? Is that true? You guys talking about them fixing PvP balance by removing amulets? I think what they did with the Paladin amulet's really interesting. I never see much discussion about that. What do you guys think on that one? They left the Paladin amulet in the game, but they blatantly... they basically said the combo that you get from Paladin is so strong, we're going to make it worth less stats. You get less attributes out of Paladin. Now, that's what I thought they could always be doing with any outlier amulets. And they've done it, and I think the only example I've ever seen of it actually going on. I mean, obviously, like a Selly amulet had more aggregate stats and so on, but it was always according to a format. They just break that format with Paladin. It's a 4-stat amulet with less stats on it. But you're still allowed to run it. I think that's a cool experiment and a cool idea. I don't really follow PvP anymore, though, so I don't know... I don't know how popular the amulet is anymore. Even to Guild Wars 1 players, this story was wonky. Yeah. Didn't they nerf Selly stats at some point? I mean, probably. I mean, Selly it's in a category all of its own, so they can nerf it and it's fine. It's not like a pattern break. But what they did with Paladin was quite special. It's like saying Marauder's too strong, so we're just going to shave some vitality off of Marauder. We're not going to compensate you with precision or anything. It's just going to be, like, literally numerically a weaker amulet. Obviously, they like Marauder and kind of the kill, the deadliness versus the tankiness on it and so on, so they would never do that, but that's what they did with Paladin, basically. What do you think of a new PvP map with End of Dragons assets? Yeah, they could do it. One map for that era of the game. Have fun. I think it's good, but for that to work, I think they need to retune how scaling with stats works. As of now, base stats are too high, in my opinion, so tanky amulets would dominate by still doing too much damage. If they increase scaling and reduce base stats, I think it would work out great. Yeah, I agree with that. I've always wanted to see heavier coefficient and weaker baseline stuff. Because to me, it's a buildcraft game. And what they're doing, when they do the reverse, when its base stats are really strong, coefficients are weak, what they're trying to do is they're making like an arcadey game that they want to have tight control over. I don't know. I always think it's sort of weak conceptually. The riffs of an ancient song ring in your ears still. Sorry, am I meant to be doing something? We just watch her get choked out, right? Oh, no, we don't. Pull harder, pull with all your might. Grab the Shining Blade. Use the Shining Blade. Hold on, how do I target the bastard? There we go. Yeah, I forgot. It's okay, she'll never actually die.
The Mursat are now extinct.
You okay?
I will be. It's a bit overwhelming.
I know who you are, Livia. Human history was one of my best subjects.
You believe the ravings of a lunatic?
I do, actually. It explains why Anise defers to you, like a grown child to a parent.
The Shining Blade is my family. I hope this secret is safe with you. For their sake.
I took an oath. My lips are sealed. But I'm curious. Just how...
Wouldn't you rather ask the Eye of Janthier about Balthazar?
What? I can do that?
Better hurry. I don't know what will happen to it now that its masters are gone.
What should I do?
Ask your question and touch it. I'll stand ready, just in case. You know.
Well, here goes nothing.
This is good, because I do think after End of Dragons, she'll come back in the story. The Shining Blade, the Bloodstones, all that. That's all very rich.
Where is Balthazar? Show me the god of war and fire. Nothing's... Oh...
And it fades into nothingness. The last gasp of a murderous race. Praise the Six.
The flames. Balthazar. Okay. Looks like I'm going to the Crystal Desert.
Yeah, I did. I got the ding. Return to the last chance.
I have to go, but I can't deny I'm curious.
How have I managed to keep my youthful figure all this time?
Who are you, really? Where have you been? What have you been doing?
Scepter of All, baby.
And yes, I am Livia. I've extended my life using an artifact known as the Scepter of Ore. I've been with my shining blade, blending in, hiding in plain sight, when I wasn't searching for the aspects, waiting to finish Lazarus, once and for all. For my queen, and for my kingdom.
Well, you did it. We did it. It's over. So, what are you going to do now?
I promised Anise I'd slow down after this. I want to travel, grow a little older. But I'll never forget you.
Nor I you. And I have to go. I have somewhere I need to be.
I'm sorry. Are you still here? I thought you left ages ago. Go. Save the world, my dear. Save Tyria.
Okay, Belgamine. I'll do that. Yeah, I know they say, oh, I'm going to let her get old. This is the thing. They just always seem like they're trying to close doors, trying to close stories, just rush off to the next big thing. I don't know. But I do think that she's a good thing to loop back to after End of Dragons. If not in End of Dragons itself. Right, okay. That kind of became a bit of a story thing there. I've definitely got enough footage here. Let me see. Let me look at my notepad for anything else. Oh, yeah. One more thing. Let me have a look at the wiki. Event timers. Damn, we just missed the Shadow Behemoth. But...
Yes. My ancestors were driven from the heart of the earth, forced to live in this bright, wide world. Of course, we've excelled. We exceed expectations in everything we do. With Golem and Gate and Arcane Crystal, we have asserted our supremacy in this land and made it our own. We will not move another inch. Not for dragons, not for anyone. By studying the eternal alchemy, we can see that all things are connected. I am a scholar of interconnectivity and relationships. I belong to the College of Synergetics. Synergetics crews delve into the nature of fundamental coherence that many overlook and few exploit. My success positively impacts my crew, who then gratefully assist me, and I succeed even more brilliantly. Reciprocity. I've just been informed that defective golems, not mine of course, are causing havoc out in the jungle. Whatever the imbeciles outside the city have broken, I'll fix, and make my name doing so. In time, I will map the fabric of connectivity that weaves us all together. This is my story.
We look like a grub. Genuinely. Love it. Alright. What did Ty just said? Any new theories on why the tilted potato icons are getting more recommendations? People like to click on it if it's diagonal? I don't know. I guess that's it, right? That's the whole story. So then the algorithm pushes them more. I mean, I can just update the default. I love early game combat so much, man. I can just upgrade the default of my template to be tilted and never think about it again. You don't actually have to talk to the NPCs. The first one you do, otherwise it won't say get to the portal. I'm pretty sure on this one, the very first NPC you have to. I feel like this should be Kudu here, not Teo. The whole, like, Snaff, Kudu, Teo, like, line versus the Snaff, Zodja, us line is, like, cool, but I don't know whether there was ever enough that properly, like, showed it off. Like, look at this. This is a strike arena, to me. This should be an arena that they add for strikes. And sure, one of them can be the golem if they want. But dump some other shit in here. Literally just copy paste this. They should do a strike themed after like each of the 5 races. So this is the Asura strike arena. And they've done a bunch of bosses in here. The Char one should be the Bane at the heart of the Black Citadel. The human one either in the Crown Pavilion or just the gardens maybe? Who else is left? Norn. Where you fight Jormungandr, maybe? Sylvari. I mean, I would say where you fight the Shadow of the Dragon, but it's not really that interesting, is it? It's interesting that these aren't actual shockwaves. I love this guy's animations. In case it's not clear, I'm deliberately waiting here because I want as much footage as possible. Look, he summons ads, guys. Who would have thunk it? The Hands of Olgoth one's pretty good as well because there's an actual mechanic where you can go to Logan to get stab and regen and stuff. I like that idea of being an actual thing. Non, isn't that already the Raven Sanctuary? Yeah, good point. Shroom, I think you asked a really good question on yesterday's stream and I missed it. Do you remember asking something and you never got a response? Right. So this is Bod's Goodwoog. Goodbye, Bods. You don't remember? Alright. Well, there was something you said that I thought was... someone had like a really good observation. I think it might have been you. Yeah, I'm standing here on this character, by the way, because I was trying to get this Tengu with the green screen, and it just didn't really work that well. I ended up getting one from Lion's Arch. Oh, shit, the Rift Maker thing! Oh, this is too perfect. Oh no, it's going to close though. I want to go in. How do I go in? I don't remember. Don't I have to throw these at... Don't you have to catch them? No, that's placing bait. How the shit am I meant to catch this in time? Oh! This would have been a good strike as well. Right. I think we're good, guys. Why I have the POF combat music exploding in my ear there, I couldn't tell you. Right, oh wow, I managed to pop out my sources page. Yeah, I guess that's it, guys. Any thoughts? Anything you want to talk about? I just started playing the expansions after coming back. Should I focus on finishing the storyline, or what should I do first? I finished the base game completely. Yeah, I'd go to the expansions now. I'd do HOT first and then POF. Once you finish those and you've got like elite specs, and you can start working on your masteries, and then you can start looking at endgame systems. That's about the order, I would say. You want more shadow creatures? Yeah, me too, man. I'd like to do like a big shadow behemoth strike or something with like cool stuff. Go to the doctor and get your physical or a checkup. Why are you asking me that? Yeah, I do have AoEs disabled, but even that... Oh, I guess maybe it telegraphs them really early. Hey WP, do you watch Doombox? Their cynical take on the End of Dragon stuff has some pretty good points. Actually, no, I don't. I haven't been watching Doombox for a very, very, very long time. I used to, like years ago, when he was like the Guild Wars 1 celebrity. I don't know. What's his cynicism about End of Dragons? I'd be curious to hear. I had a wild ride this morning. I went and I looked to my YouTube comments, and I had some guy left like 6 comments over like my fishing video, my legendaries video, and my strike mission video. Like furious that I had like positive things to say about any of it. He was like, we need a YouTuber that hates the game. Like, genuinely, maybe he should go watch Doombox. And it was so wild to me because I swear to God, I remember 3 weeks ago an epic Reddit thread about how I'm a miserable twat that hates the game and is like, you know, overly critical because of the end of Dragonstorm. Does anyone remember that? I think I remember that just a little bit. It's funny it's like the wheel turns, you know. It just depends. What video did you watch? And then you can just condemn me entirely based on that. Was I happy in that one video, or was I unhappy? It's your choice. Do I hate the game, or do I love the game? Which you decide. The internet echoes whatever you want it to, right, guys? This guy was fuming. I was like, oh my God. Like, he really, really doesn't like fishing, I guess. Yeah, someone tell me, what's Doombox's take? I'm curious. You like Doombox, but isn't he just a typical Guild Wars 1 fanboy, Guild Wars 2 hater? I think he is more predisposed to... You got to understand that Guild Wars 1 and 2 are very different games, and there's not necessarily that much overlap between people who like them both. You know, you might even just consider everyone like me, who loved the first and is in the second, we're just boiled frogs, you know? And those other guys, they jumped out of the pot. I think that's fair. I don't know, though. I thought Doombox was into Guild Wars 2 at this point, though. If you want a good Guild Wars 1 YouTuber at this point as well, by the way, I think, what's it called? Guild Wars Reborn. That guy's like a god. I think it's Guild Wars Reborn. He's fast. He does like active news. He's like comprehensive, good takes. No bullshit. Really, really, really brilliant. And it's amazing to me for a game that old with that little support that they have like a community member like that. But he is like the god. WP is a jaded twat that sits on stream begging for donations. Yeah. You should upload 2 videos every subject, one dumping on it, one praising it, and watch people break. No, then you get like then you're a fence sitter, aren't you? You're not allowed that either. All right, you can't do that. You got TP'd to a friend and you want to see the highest point in the game. If it's the top of the tree in Bitterfrost Frontier, I already did that on a Valen stream a long time ago. In fact, I think one of my characters, my Gobbler character, is still standing on that tree. Unless it's, is it Heart of Thorns on top of the tree in Heart of Thorns? Oh, it is, because you were in Dragon's Stand there earlier, weren't you? Oh, no, he's in Bitterfrost. Was it about the mood of the game when I pointed the post-Bahamut content of FF14 when you were talking about a sad mood in Guild Wars 2 or about how other people are perceived on being perceived on the web? I don't know what you mean, Shroom. That's too crazily phrased. I don't know what you mean. No more Stellaris. No, there will be Stellaris. I promise. There will be. There will be. Today was supposed to be FF14. I'm actually not even really meant to be streaming in a way. I mean, I was just getting footage for a video. That's all I was doing. And I thought I may as well stream it. If I'm going to be pissing about, running around on all these open world events and stuff, I may as well stream it. The Nerd Nest channel did one positive, one negative video on the review of the Steam Deck. Apparently the negative one got way more engagement. Well, yeah, I mean, engagement... That doesn't necessarily mean it's a better take or anything, though. That just means it provokes more comments. Stream more, please. I don't know whether I like this website or this platform too much just yet, but I have like short-term plans at least. How can I get a log of yesterday's stream? It's just on the website. You just go to the VOD. It has all the chat and everything there for you. Someone tell me Doombox's take. What is there not to like about End of Dragons, goddammit? Don't make me watch it myself. I'm too lazy for that. Do you think there's an issue with the amount of currencies, craft and materials items? Possibly for new people. It does look a bit impenetrable. It's a weird one though, because I sort of feel like it's not a big deal. You just think it's a big deal. So maybe the answer is just to give people comfort in the fact that they can ignore a lot of those currencies. I don't know. It's one of the things I kind of want to do a new player guide about. A dev said a lot of loose threads will be paid off in End of Dragons. What major threads do you think there's still out there they could finally tie up here? The Lissa Balthazar stuff, probably. That's the big thing that springs to my mind, the mirror. I'm trying, you're ignoring me, says the Rage Cage. Really? I like Doombox. The Rage Cage says, I like Doombox. Sometimes you need a different take on it all. Not gonna lie, sick of people defending fishing like it's groundbreaking. Okay. So he doesn't like the fishing thing. Is that what you're telling me? Come on, let's play Chinese Whispers. You give me his take, except it's slightly wrong. And then I'll repeat it again, and it'll be slightly wrong again. And then someone in my chat can, you know, go bring that information back to him. And he'll be like, what the fuck is this? It'll be good. With FF14 skyrocketing, WoW bleeding, do you think Guild Wars 2 did enough with their End of Dragons announcement to capture wayward MMO players? No, I think if they want to appeal to the ex-WoW crowd, they need to talk about the issues that are driving people away from WoW right now. And they didn't do any of that. So why are people leaving WoW? There's like the external game stuff about like the workplace harassment and all that, and them getting sued and blah blah blah. But then there's also, what I think is actually much more important to most people, the actual gameplay stuff. And as far as I understand, it's just they don't put in enough content, right? It's just not value for money to play WoW. They just don't do enough. So you would have thought ArenaNet should be talking about that. But we've been in a rocky place ourselves, you know, and an inconsistent place ourselves. So are they really in a position to talk about that, to appeal to that? He said End of Dragons is the end of Guild Wars 2. Well, that is quite a heavy take. A very small YouTuber blew up yesterday because you posted him. You should do it more. What you... Demith, that's you. What are you talking about? That was your video and your post. Are you talking about yourself in the third person there to try and give the impression that... Did you forget what account you're on right now? Did you see this tweet and do you think there's anything noteworthy to say about that character? The pink Naga in End of Dragons needs more attention. No, I think it's just a pink Naga. I think it just looks cool. I like the Naga, but I don't know whether there's any stories detail here. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm really the guy to talk about why people are leaving WoW, because I haven't been playing WoW. You know, I can talk a lot about Guild Wars, and I can talk a good amount-ish about FF14, but the World of Warcraft side of that story, you know, I'm not the place to go to for that. A lot of the non-Guild Wars 2 YouTuber coverage I saw was like, they do 9 specs per expansion. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much you get in Guild Wars. Oh, damn it, says that was not my video. Wasn't it? But your video was on Reddit yesterday. Wasn't it? Am I getting you confused with someone else? Lols, how many potato faces do I have? Even got a potato with a beanie. I like this. Someone's just watching them roll through. I've got like 50 or 60 probably. These are all the ones that I filmed. There's a bunch of fan ones too, which are not in the reel at the moment. Yeah, I understand that Quan Peng tweeted it. I understand that a dev tweeted that, or she's a writer, right? One big issue with WoW is that they make you do a grind for arbitrary gear shred mill invalidated 3 months in. I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that Guild Wars tries to stand in defiance of. What do you think the remaining masteries will be? Colin said all the masteries will have a game-wide effect. Oh, that's interesting. I never caught that. Did he really say on the stream that they're game-wide effects? I mean, it's very easy to hit that criteria, isn't it? Ooh, in Central Terrier Mastery line, there's a mastery that increases my revive speed when I'm reviving someone lower level than me. And the higher the level discrepancy, the faster it is. It's a game-wide effect. That's probably the best mastery they ever added, just because it's game-wide. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't really... Oh, he's narrative lead? I thought it was a woman. Colin did say that about the Dragon Jade Mastery. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not... details is what I'd like to see. Alright, guys. That's going to be it from me. That's going to be the end of the stream. Thank you very much for watching. I'll have a video up about strikes tonight, hopefully, as long as I'm not too burned out or whatever. And I'll have videos about this silhouette as well. Not the one you're looking at on screen right now, but the other one. It should be good fun. So cheers, everybody. Take it easy now. Thanks for watching. And everyone give a big round of applause to Rocker as well there, who's been modding for the stream and has done an amazing job and did those badges. So thanks very much to you there, Rocker. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Oh, by the way, this intro that you're about to watch, this is new. This is Mr. Modius again. Is he in chat at the moment? Who updated it. So look, if you look at the art in the background, the animations in the background, it's all the new stuff and it's new music as well. I'll play it the whole way through. Really enjoy this. It's great.